We were talking about Bo Nickals being a bad matchup for Alex Pereira and Izzy, but I'm like, bro, you got to make it there first.
But then you said Derek Brunson too.
I mean, right now they throwing him some fish, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they building him up or whatever. He got to work on that striking though, and he might be a problem. I like what he's doing so far. Them submissions was strong. So
I mean, he cold with it. Don't get me wrong, he grabbed you. That's a lot to deal with. But I'm looking at the people, man, and it's like, bro, you're supposed to beat these guys, man. And
hey, he fought this one guy named Jonathan Beard, and he was in full mount, and it was weird because the guy flipped him over and he triangled him. And I didn't like that. He didn't look comfortable on the ground for like a split second. He kind of froze up. But I'm saying against like a Robert Whitaker would have stood up, or he would have got out of it.
That's my beef with if people say, "Oh, this new person is a bad matchup for the champion." I'm like, what about all the people ranked from 25 to being the number one contender? What about all those people that you got to fight? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's kind of like the thing that they would give. What's my boy, the like Damian Maia or whatever? When you excel at one thing so much, that they kind of, you know what I mean? Everything else comes second tier. But when you're really, really good at something, like if you're a really good wrestler, striking might be the only thing that they don't, because a lot of good people with good hands and punching power. But like if you're really good on the ground and like that BJJ, or you can wrestle really well, they will, you know what I'm saying? They will try to match you up against top tier talent. Like how far can we, do that? Like how can this guy go and all this other stuff? That will always be that. Like Izzy never got that. Like he's good with them hands though. He never got that whatever. But wrestlers always get it. Them BJJ guys, like if they're top tier, win a lot of belts, a lot of championships, a lot of tournaments and stuff like that, they'd be like, oh, he matches up well with da-da-da-da-da. But they don't have anything else. Most of those guys between, like you was talking about, them 20 guys, they all around guys. They don't have anything that's dynamically special. So when you don't have anything like that, then of course it's always they're gonna overlook you. But
I think I agree with that, because if you look at Damian Maia at the end of his career, he fought Gilbert Burns, he fought Colby Covington, then he fight Kamaru Usman. And he looked horrible. Tyron Woodley, like fighters who he couldn't take down.
See, that's the thing. You got the guys who are really good at jiu-jitsu and they can't get the fight to the ground. That's what they call jiu-jitsu nerds. Because it's like, what's the memes about if people break into your house and then you lay on your back and you're like, hey, jump into my guard. And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's that. What's that one kid that we watched? Chase Hooper.
Oh, yeah.
Like, look, if he grab you, it's dangerous. But going for weird stuff, heel hooks and weird submissions, and then you don't even have a way to get the fight to the ground. The thing is, with the type of guys you're talking about, these guys, they're dangerous on the ground and they can get the fight to the ground. And so they do kind of leapfrog them up, because that skill set in and of itself will get you very far. Because sometimes you see guys with that background, sometimes they'll get hurt or something by somebody, right? Like they'll get dropped or something, but then they'll still get the fight to the ground and then they can still win a decision. You know what I'm saying? But then it comes a certain level where you might get hurt and then you can't get them the guys to the ground. What about like a Robert Whitaker? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, what happened when you fight Robert and he drop you and you can't take him down? Because we seen him stuff Yoel Romero takedowns and stuff. So it's like, you got to get past these type of people. What about the Jared Cannoniers who got 90% takedown defense or something, probably close to that?
Yeah.
It's like, you don't get to just jump over to Izzy, bro, just because.
And then what you were saying like the middleweight division. I don't know why it's like that, but it's never really been dominated by wrestlers. The champions been strikers. And I think it's in between like welterweight and light heavyweight, and those guys, they have the strength of a light heavyweight, but they have the speed of a welterweight. So I think they're kind of in the middle. And I think that's why like the strikers dominated. You were saying he's in a horrible weight class. If he was in light heavyweight or welterweight.
If he was in light heavyweight or like welterweight, I'd be more, I mean, we're going to watch him obviously. But man, like you said, like they throwing him a fish, man. Like I'm expecting this fight to last 2 minutes.
It might not last. He don't have a 2 minute. All his fights combined together don't last 2 minutes. I'm serious. So it's like, I mean, I think he's doing what Khamzat is doing. He's taking Khamzat approach and he's finishing fights fast, which is pros and cons to that. It's kind of risky because if you gas out, that's the con. The pros is you get to finish people fast and get them out of there. You know what I mean? What happens is, because I'm worried that Bull is going to fight somebody who he can't take down and he's going to gas out. He's going to try to finish him. But then in the third round, he's going to be done. But
see, I'm worried about him not knowing what to do with them hands after he can't get you down. Exactly. And that's where a lot of those guys, like, so you get them one-trick pony types, it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like, You know, it worked. Like, I think Damian Maia might have been like the highest of the one trick pony types. Like, because even a lot of the wrestlers had great ground and pound. That was 2 tricks. But Damian was kind of like, he'd just do that little fall into guard thing all the time too. Like, he used to be like, that used to be his thing too. And I'm like, if he would have just worked on the hands more, just make his striking a little bit more sufficient, so where he can set up just getting his hands on somebody, he would have probably been champion.
He just had a fast
that, like that one thing. Yeah. So
he had a fast
you gotta do it. But see, here's the thing though. If you know you don't have that skill, like realistically, John Jones is the GOAT. He ain't never one punch KO'd anybody. You know what I'm saying? So John uses the legs, do whatever. You know what I'm saying? See, Damian necessarily didn't need you to be like a crazy striker, but if you can do that lower leg kick and mess up one of them wheels, oh, I got you, because you can't move. That's all I needed. You know what I'm saying? So I think he should have probably used his legs a lot more than he did. But I'm worried about that for Bo too. I'm hoping. Like we've seen people do it, but they don't always work on them other skills. I'm hoping somebody is getting him together with the hands.
And of course, you know, the coaches and stuff they're gonna always say that the hands are getting better in A, B, and C. But the thing is, you don't want to have to find out if you have hands or not in the top 10.
And you don't want to have to find out once that door closed.
Yeah, you don't want to find out
in the top 10.
Exactly. Now we got to find out if your hands are serious or not.
And another thing is, we know Alex's grappling defense is decent enough to stuff a couple takedowns. He might not stuff all of them, but I'm saying if you're a grappler, your striking defense has to be good enough and be respected enough to at least survive a couple of exchanges. And I don't think Bo is there to where his deficiencies is good enough to avoid where his opponents are strong at, if that makes sense.
Yeah, not yet. Yep.
Because if he get hit, bro, by Alex, there is no training that can prepare him from that. Because the only way to be prepared for that is to be used to being hit. You think he in the gym getting hit? Absolutely not. He's probably ragdolling everybody on the grappling and then probably just hitting mitts and some light sparring on the feet. But that don't prepare you for Alex possibly. We talking about somebody carrying knockout power into the 5th round.
The only thing is, with Nickals, I know he's a great wrestler, but I've heard his names for years. Like, he just started MMA the last couple of years. But I know, like, Robert Lawyer and guys, they brought him in years ago to help them when they fought against wrestlers. So I know, like, he's training and striking for some time. He hasn't really shown it. Striking ain't bad. I mean, he just basic 1-2 and stuff, man. But at the same time, who's to say he might go out there and just put on a striking display
against who?
Against Jamie Pickett.
But that's why they gave him Jamie, because you could do whatever you want.
Yeah,
I hate to say it, man, and we're gonna get into that, man. But
that's a fact. I agree with you. That's 1,000% on my end. That's what I thought too. I went back and I watched all Jamie's shit. I'm like, ooh,
I know.
They sent him a tomato can. I was like, okay.
And without being disrespectful about it, you know what I'm saying? But man, so this is how that conversation got started, Kobe. And tell me, think about this. They got Bo Nickals on the main card, but they got Derek Brunson and Nickals on the prelims. Not the early prelims, but still the prelims. And I'm like, Derek Brunson number 5, and Nickals just beat Darren Till to be in the top 10. And then like Bo Nickals would have been a great.
It's funny if Darren Till was fighting Derek Brunson, whatever they fought. But if they was fighting, then it'd be on the main card. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I guess Drika's not as big of a name as Bo Nickals.
Are people gonna tune into the pay-per-view just to watch Bo Nickals, or should that have been a main event for the prelims? You know what I'm saying?
I think they wanted to introduce Bo to the main card on the big card. Like, I feel like they know. Yeah, you know, given like Derek and Cody on that prelim. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Derek is he in number 5 right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he loses them big fights. So,
you know what's funny, man? It's funny because when they fight live, they're going to introduce these fighters as if they're veterans. But if they're veterans, why do they have a guy who's never fought in the UFC? Why is he on the main card? But then live, when they brought Derek Brunson and Nickals, these are 2 veterans. These are guys. They're in the top 10. Okay, why are they not on the main card then?
Like you said, it's almost like how they did Raul Rojas Jr. Remember, they gave him, you know, such and such, and let him go out there and steamroll him in 2 minutes. And you know,
well, see, it's like it's Deshaun O'Malley's. It's what's my boy name who got his face broken?
Face broken.
What's the kid? He looked like the Karate Kid.
Sage Northcutt.
Phase Northcutt. UFC is built off of hype trains. So, and Bo is no exception to that. So, and they love hype trains. And a wrestler hype train is more applicable to succeed because of how many successful champions they done had. That's why I'm hoping if he's working with his hands, he got a good shot at doing something, because his wrestling is there. He got them subs, man. Like, them subs be strong. It don't look like he's squeezing hard, but he putting people out, man. You know what I'm saying? So he's
easy, and he talks noise too, so he's easy to promote.
I don't think this fight lasts more than 2 minutes. I'm being nice.
At the latest, man.
I'm being real nice.
I like this fight for Bo. Good, beef up his morale and all this other stuff, get him going. So I think it'll work. I think it'll work.
I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna put something out there. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually managed to knock Jamie out. I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped him. At least we all are expecting him to take him down and submit him. At least,
yeah.
I don't think he'll knock him out, man. Because even when Jamie got hurt, what's the guy named Wright? He fought last weekend against Zach.
Jordan Wright.
Yeah, Jordan Wright. Jordan got hands. He had striking, so he got hurt by Jordan. And then Dennis Tululin.
He gets hurt too much.
Power. Yeah. I'm saying, but I don't think Bo striking good enough to be doing that. I think Bo.
But there's not a lesser opponent that he can get where he can show off some type of hands. If you're gonna show off your hands, show him off against Jamie Pickett. Don't wait till you get to Darren Till or somebody and just start showing us you a boxer, because that ain't gonna.
You know what I think would be a perfect showing for him? Get him down on the ground, put him to sleep with some ground and pound. That will tell everybody you got it. It's in your wheelhouse. You're doing all the stuff that you need to do, but you can still show off that power with that ground and pound. It's still a nice knockout. It's still to say like, oh, you're not to be messed with. TKOs is nothing to be slept on, but I feel like that'll be the best way for him to produce what everybody needs to be like, all right, he's official. The submissions don't really make you dangerous. Like, you got to rack up so many. For every 3 submissions, like a knockout does it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I feel like a good ground and pound TKO for him would be ideal. Matt, you know what? And you're right, scary, right? So I would say no punches. Throw some elbows on that boy. You know what I'm saying?
Nasty ground and pound.
Yeah.
That feel like, dang, I wouldn't be able to do nothing if I was in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Because see, I hate to say it, man, but Jamie. Man, look, I've rooted for Jamie a lot, man. I didn't necessarily think he was going to win, but you just want a fighter to kind of show you a little more than what they.
Hey, what's scary? What's scary with Jamie is, we were just saying this before the UFC. He was knocking people out, man. He was blitzing them, was throwing. He got like real fast hands. He got power, especially in his left hand. But like, you get to UFC, bro, and it's like, I don't know if his knockout power and stuff just not there, or if it's like a mental thing to where it's like,
the competition. It's the competition, bro. Like, once the competition gets higher, you know what I'm saying? It makes you be a little bit more calculated in what you do. You know what I'm saying? He could probably have not been in fear of whatever. It's kind of like when a dude date a bad chick. You could date an ugly chick all the time and talk to her crazy and do all this other stuff. But when you date a baddie who got a lot of options out here, you're going to be able to look at it. You got to look at it a little different. So, and I feel like that's what it is. He got a different level in competition, and he was kind of like, I could rush or whatever like that. But them guys up here, it's like the NBA or the NFL. Everybody got speed. Everybody got power. Everybody got talent. So I could get away with it, but maybe not. Maybe I'll run into somebody who got a good counterpuncher. He could put me night-night. So you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So
and then he been TKO on the feet. He been beat on the ground. Yeah. Then a cow dog take him down and submit him.
He been beat in a myriad of ways, man.
He learning on the job.
I was just on the job the bad way. I was just gonna say that, bro. Look, arm triangle. Okay, then decision. Okay, cool. Another decision. Then you get TKO by Jordan Wright, and I think they just released him, didn't they?
Yeah, they released him with William.
And so now then Cal Dawkins.
And then you beat Joseph Holmes. That was his first fight in the UFC. So you beat a rookie. And then who was that? Laureano.
I don't know
what it is, man. So it's just a certain level. At least he survived Tafon, and he survived Punahele.
Yeah, but both of them ain't. I got a question. Both of them ain't really showing up.
Do y'all know what gym he fights out of?
Who?
Nope.
Where he from? Greenville, North Carolina.
Hit Pit.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes them big gyms, like him losing in a multitude of ways, that just tell me he not seeing enough versions of different scary fighters.
Because he getting beat up. He getting beat up by kind of everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, now I can understand if you struggle against wrestlers, or if you're trying to get your striking up to par, and you struggling against people who have an extensive background in striking. But he got a lot of athleticism, and he seemed to kind of get beat by anybody. And it's like, I hate to say that like that, man.
If you're not like those guys, you're not getting a wide range of competition, then you're not going to be able to do what you need to do.
I don't expect that fight to last more than 2 minutes, man.
Like this video and subscribe.